This tweet right here made me stop in my tracks and record this video. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and my goal today was to give you all a video about the individual attachments and if they do what they say they're supposed to be doing, since the whole rapid fire barrel was discovered to not give any vertical recoil. That is, until I did some more testing and actually found out that it does, but only when your right stick is activated, or your mouse if you're playing on PC. You can check that short out on my channel. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this one. But in the midst of testing some attachments to make those videos, I took a break to mindlessly scroll through Twitter for a minute and found this tweet. This innocent but yet trolling tweet from someone straight up tagging the executive producer and the game itself, asking if the game was rushed due to Black Ops 4 and other games. Now, before we dive into the rest of this tweet and the reply, I want to tell you my thoughts on this. I have always believed that this game was rushed, given the time that it was in beta for, and the time it was in development for, and the numerous bugs and warnings that were apparently told to them by the beta testers. They still released the game, and it still has the same bugs. I don't know if it has anything to do with the release of any other game, but what's even more disturbing is the answer or the reply that the executive producer gave here. He says, and I quote, "Rushed out? No. What we have is an engine that has only ever been an MMO. And so all of the infrastructure for a FPS has had to be built up from the ground floor." Then goes on to talk about a couple other FPS games and all their engines that they run off of, and then continues with, quote, "But for us, we are working on developing all new tech in an engine that was designed for something else." I had to take a pause here and take a ticket to Stupidville and come back to make sure I wasn't actually stupid. Brother, this is just a roundabout way to say that your game is rushed. That's what you're saying. You took something that wasn't meant for something and put out an unfinished product and are actively working on it post-release to make it work and function properly. I don't know how you can say your game wasn't rushed and then say those strings of words and walk away like, yep, showed him. Let me try to relate this to something else. This would be like if you took a drag car, a car built specifically for the drag strip, and then threw track tires on it, not drag tires, track tires, if that's an actual thing, and put it on an actual track, not a drag strip, like the Nürburgring. Then when it can't take turns and you come in last place or you have a terrible time, you try to defend the decision to spend little to no time in changing anything else on the car besides the tires. It's crazy. This may have been a terrible example, but I'm hoping you get what I mean. So when he says what we have here is an engine, blah, 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 blah. No.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Just own it. The game was rushed. We can all see that. Like, you're trying to put lipstick on a pig, and it's not gonna fly. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I respect this man, because some of the other tweets I've seen him reply to, and before I go any further, he doesn't have to reply to anybody. These are all just internet trolls. But the fact that he's taking time out of his day, on a holiday no less, to reply to people like this is commendable, to say the least. And I've seen him reply to several other tweets defending his team, the people talking just straight up nonsense. And I have a huge amount of respect for that. Anybody would kill for a boss that does that, that has your back. In the same breath, please don't lie to our face. I get the majority is clueless as to how these things actually work on the back end, but it's plainly obvious that this game has way too many problems to not have been rushed out. And then you put out a reply like this. We can speculate on why it was rushed all we want, but the point here is that it was. Why you would use an engine that wasn't meant for an FPS? Well, the reason for this one is because this wasn't supposed to be an FPS game. This was rumored to be another Division game. So I'm sure there were deadlines to meet and budget constraints, as with any project, which means You didn't have the time nor the budget to scrap the engine and build from the ground up on one that was meant for an FPS. So it was rushed, which, by the way, if this is all true, big props to that development team for making this game into what it is on an engine that's not meant for an FPS game. But regardless, I have faith that they will turn everything around and get it going in the right direction. And I have to, because I spent so much money on one of those founders packs. But just be honest with the people that want to support your game. If you're honest with us, we'll understand. It's still frustrating as hell, don't get me wrong. And I'm still going to critique every single bug until they get fixed, because that's just what we do. But the game has so many issues right now, and as long as you react and work on it quickly and efficiently, it will get better. And that's all I wanted to go over today. Apologize for the delay on the other attachment videos, guys, but there's just so much stuff going on with this game right now, and I need a break from it, just mentally. And I didn't anticipate any of this happening. Everything was fine up until the whole Season 1 launch, but I am still working on them, so they're coming. Just be patient. Until next time.